the Pastor John Gray thing, like where he was talking about being wrapped in his lady.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about, right? Just like that discussion in general.
Yeah,
Okay.
that discussion in general. I want to get y'all's
All
thoughts
right.
on that. All right,
All right.
cool. Well, good people. I'm back. It's the Thanksgiving week, and I got a couple of homies with me. Welcome to the Thanksgiving episode of FSG Podcast. It's your girl Irene, and I got two of my best guy friends. I guess you can say that.
I'm a guy friend. I
You're,
like it.
you're a guy friend. You're a guy friend. Y'all the homies. But individually, when we're together, I have an amazing time with y'all. And y'all are both different, but yeah, I wouldn't even say y'all are the same. Y'all are both different. Shout out to the bruhs, Castro.
Bro.
Shout out to the noobs, Mr.
Dextro. Yo.
So I have my good friends Dex and Castro here. And
I didn't even know Dex was Greek.
1911 crew.
There it is.
So yes,
we don't talk about that. You see, we spent like 2 hours.
That's true.
At a happy hour, that just didn't come up.
It's not something that would come up. Like that's not. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we are here, and we gonna get into some randomness, but I'm happy to have you guys on the show. Like, welcome back, Castro. Welcome, Dex. It's your first time on the show.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Shout out to the Giggle Gang, creator of the Giggle Gang moniker. That's my guy right there.
It's official tissue when you're on the show. I mean, it's been a minute. I'd be like, Irene, when am I get on the show?
Listen,
I didn't even know how that happened though. How did that come about?
What the Giggle
Gang? Yeah.
Well, I made a call. When Shelly was on the show, this was like 2-3 years ago. We made a call to like listeners, like, yo, we need a name for the people who listen to the show. Like, it's for shits and giggles. We like giggling. We talk shit. Like, y'all give us ideas. And Dex, being the diehard FSG fan that he is, hit me up like maybe like a week after the show aired and was like, he had like 5 different names.
I probably ran it down a few.
Right. Dex extra. Yeah, like 5 different names. Other people were hitting me up, and I'm like, I like the Giggle Gang. Like, you hear the intro, Giggle Gang, Giggle Gang, Giggle Gang.
Yeah, it's the hook now. I need some royalties.
It's catchy. Hey, bro, relax. Nah, but for real,
get paid on the front end and the back end.
So, most of the listeners know Castro. You guys know him, Dungeon Forward, all that good stuff. But, and some of you guys are just meeting Dex. So I'm gonna stop talking. If you guys can just go ahead and just give a brief introduction. What's going on with you? What you up to? What you do? I'll start with Dex, since Castro's been on the show before. Dex, tell the good people about yourself.
All right, dope. Well, Dex Rowe, obviously a FAMU graduate, class of 2010.
Young Bucks.
Youngin.
Amazing experience. But currently, sales account executive for Nike out of the Central Region, managing key accounts. Love what I do what I love. It's amazing. Currently living in Chicago. Just came back from Miami. It's cold as hell here compared to Miami, but you know what? Can't complain. Good people, good food, so I'm all right.
That's what's up. And y'all, please don't hit Dex up for no shoes. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have it.
He's trying to keep it to himself. That's what it is.
Fucking lutely right. That's exactly what I'm doing. So yeah, don't hit him up.
Hey, man, I went to the employee store, man. It was kind of skip. They didn't have anything in there for me, man. I feel like they put the leftovers on the floor that day. What's up with that?
Man, it's hard to come by now. I think when I first started in Portland, going to the employee store was the shit. It was like any and everything that you needed, high heat product. Like I
walked out there with like 6 pair of shoes when I went a couple of years.
I still walked out with like
50% off. 50%
no
tax.
Yo, I was rolling in the dough and the sauce. It was all good. But then when I left Portland, like almost 2 years ago, I've honestly been having to get my product directly from retailers because none of that real high heat energy stuff gets to the Nike doors. Well, actually it gets to Nike doors, but the caveat is that this 48-hour rule. So you can't use your employee discount until after 48 hours.
Oh,
and now we all know in less than 24 hours, them shits are gone.
Easily.
So I'm never getting a discount again on high heat shit.
Damn.
Right.
So
Facts.
y'all heard Castro say something about the employee store. You're probably wondering, how did you get there? Castro out here doing big shit, y'all.
Yeah.
Tell good people what you've been up to since the last time you was on FSG.
Man, doing too goddamn much. That's really what it is. And I hope my managerial staff at my real gig don't listen to the show. But honestly, I don't really care because we already know what the next step is. I think we ain't even talking about that. But yeah, I'm actually in Portland right now. I've been here for 7 weeks. 7 weeks in a sneaker design program called Pencil. And people been hitting me up talking about when the sneakers drop. I'm actually not here specifically to design sneakers for the rest of my life, or I even add that as a product offering, even though I'm thinking about it. But if you know anything about sneakers, it's probably one of the most expensive products to get into. And it's like crazy, like assorted, because it's the most sized thing that people wear. Right. Think about it. You got half sizes. I mean, God, I thought it was crazy when I had to do mediums and extra larges. Like I can't. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around like what it would be to get into that space. Even though I would love to do it, it's just financially, it's crazy. But the program I'm in was started by an ex-Jordan executive, design director, and his name is Dwayne Edwards. He started the school because it wasn't nothing like it, and since then he's been partnering with every brand that's out there that makes sneakers. And I even had an opportunity to go to Adidas. I had to sign a non-disclosure, so I can't say what for, but it was basically a sales meeting. And we did some unique things in that sales meeting. But yeah, since I've been here, it's been crazy. The way I got to the Nike employee store is when I used to work for P&G on an account with this company, JLL, and the dude that I work with in my group, he's now doing the same thing that we did over at Nike. So I went in and toured the campus with him, and then went through the whole security process, because it's like Nike don't let you in that store. Like
it's like Fort Knox.
Yeah, you gotta get an email, send an email back. You gotta, and then when you come up, you gotta show your paper. Yeah, man, it's
and you better have on Nikes. You better have on Nikes. Do not come in there.
Downfall though.
Yeah, don't come in there with nothing but Nikes though.
Right.
You made me do all that. And then I get in there, ain't no heat. It's kind of that shit's unfortunate, but it's all good. Bro. It's all good. But yeah, so I've been here for 7 weeks, and the whole intention is just to like learn the design process of sneakers, because it definitely applies to what I do, which is headwear. And we're actually going to be expanding the product offering to backpacks, and I'm probably going to stay in the accessory space simply because I want to avoid sizes. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. And my project out here, I've been working on a signature shoe for American Express Black Card, and it's something that the team at Pencil is going to pitch as a possible a product offering that would be unique for those folks that hold a black card, which is not too many people. It actually costs $7,500 just to hold the black card, but you also got to spend at least $1 million a year on that card. So it's totally different group of people that are rocking with that. But
right.
So yeah, that's been my challenge is trying to elevate my thought process, because I've never even lived in that space where you spending $1 million a year just cause, you know.
God's preparing you. You about to.
Hey, yeah, man. It's been an amazing year. Like I can't even front. Dungeon Board. Wow. Like I don't get the opportunity that much to sit back and really pay attention to what's going on, and I'm never really satisfied. But you know, I've been looking at my numbers, and I've been looking at my Instagram, and it's starting to look pretty Dungeon Ford field, and the numbers are starting to look favorable. And it's something that I've been working at for a long time, and it hasn't been like this. So
it's a whole wave, man. I think any place that I went that had rattlers in the place to be, dude, like they all had Dungeon Ford, and that was cold.
Yeah,
man. FAMU would I can't say that my people ain't supporting me. You know, I can't say that.
They love you.
You got your initial adopters for sure. Like I know who the homies that were buying painted T-shirts back in the day when I was on campus. I know who the homies were that were buying my whack ass T-shirts when I first dropped them. You know, and it's still around, man. Like I could literally look at the site and see, like, damn, bro, you done spent 2 racks with Dungeon Ford. You know, I could look at that and see. And actually, this holiday season, I'm paying even more attention to that, because I really want to look out for those people that have been rocking with me for quite some time. And so like our best, the folks that bought the most stuff this year and just have been supporting over the years, it's like 5 of them I'm just about to send the whole gamut. Like they about to be really surprised. So
that's love. Stop talking about it. They probably listen to this show and know, like,
they don't know who they are though. They don't know who they are.
Okay, they're gonna be expecting it though. Like, wait, I need to spend 20 more. What I need to do? But yeah, okay, that's what's up.
That's what I do.
Good shit. My friends are dope. I'm super, super excited about all the stuff y'all have going on. So like I said at the beginning of the show, it's a Thanksgiving episode, but we gonna keep with the spirit of FSG. I'm sorry, the Friendsgiving episode. And I want to keep in the spirit because we're friends. Yes. You guys get that? And anyway, shut up. Anyway, so I want to know, what's the most ridiculous thing? Like, we're going to keep in the spirit of FSG. So what's the most ridiculous thing you can think of that you did during a Thanksgiving dinner? Whether it was just hosting people, cooking, like Black Friday. Like, what's the most ridiculous thing that you have done or happened to you or you participated in during the Thanksgiving holiday?
All right. I think I can kick this one off.
Okay.
Man. So I got to think back to my times at Target.
Okay.
So I was in Target for quite some time, but then worked in Minneapolis. So I actually had never done the whole Black Friday, going out, waiting in line, crazy, stupid shit.
Right.
Until I got to Target, because like I had access. So I had access to,
of course.
I had access to where shit was going to be, when it was going to be there, what time I should show up. So it was actually like pretty dope to have all that. But I think like what made it ridiculous was the fact that this is in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where it was cold as fuck. Like that shit was so cold. And you had people that were actually like waiting in line and had been there for a while. So like these people, and they're prepared, right? So they got their gloves, they got their heating pads, and here I go, kid from Fort Lauderdale, fresh out in Minneapolis trying to do Black Friday.
Oh wait, you were standing outside with them too?
Yeah. So like I had. So here's the thing: like my level of access was only so it only went so far in terms of just knowing where shit was going to be, but it didn't give me any access to get to the front of the line.
Oh, shit.
It's not like you didn't have access.
I mean, I'm like,
access. Wait, this was before they...
That's a fair point, but I think...
Was this before they gave out maps?
Shit,
huh?
Was this before they gave out maps?
No, they had maps. They had maps this time.
You don't hear that back in. That's another step.
Hey, listen, they had maps. But the thing, the level of access was the fact that I knew someone that was at the store.
Shut up, Castro.
I knew someone that was at the store, right? In terms of getting the product that I wanted, which was this TV.
Uh-huh.
Now, I had to obviously do shopping for more people, so I couldn't necessarily just go in and just grab that. So I had to still I couldn't get everything I wanted, needless to say. So standing in that line in that moment, like I think it was about, I got there maybe 2 hours before the store opened. And as soon as we got in, like I went for my ticket item, which was the TV, and I knew that I had that one like secured. So went for that, made sure I had it, chopped it up with dude to make sure that it was there. But the other things that I needed to actually go through and go get it. So that, I mean, necessarily that was me waiting in line, and that bullshit was crazy. But I never did that again. Just to tell you that much. Like I never did the whole Black Friday.
I wouldn't have done it again either.
Yeah.
You didn't have access.
Well, there you go.
I'm sitting here like, what? So you went to the store and you stood in line like everybody else?
Hey, but everybody did that before though. Everybody did that like, oh, my homie work at this club, and then you get there and it's like, bruh,
right?
You can't. Hey, I mean, he know you. We're getting in 30 minutes instead of 35.
Right. Like what? No, I have a Black Friday story. It was probably my first Black Friday. Because this is when I really got into Black Friday. So this is like 2005, 2006. I camped out at a Walmart for like 7 hours. For like 7 hours. Walmart over in West Miramar. And you know, it was cold, but not like real cold, but it was Miami cold. So I'm sitting out there, got my lawn chair, and I'm waiting for the store to open because there was this Dell computer that I had to get. Yeah. So maybe like around, so the store was opening up at Dell. I think the store was opening up at like 6, either 6 or 7. So about 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm sitting there. It's me, my brother Deba, and my friend Michelle. Y'all know Michelle. We're sitting there.
Mitchie.
Yeah,
shout out to Mitchie.
Yeah, we sitting there, and out of nowhere, I'm like, oh shit. I got the bubble guts. Oh shit. Like I legit have the shit. Like, oh shit. Oh God. But the store is about to open up in like maybe, I don't know, 30 minutes. So I'm like panicking, like, where can I go to take a shit? Because I can't go inside the store. The store is not open. And I have to relieve myself. Like, seriously. So luckily there is a gas station. And y'all, I'm not the kind of person that takes a shit in the gas station, but I had to.
I feel like you're about to take that back in like 2 seconds.
But my back was against the wall, literally. So I go to this. I think it was a Mobile, either Mobile or BP. I go to this gas station. It doesn't matter. I don't even know why I said which one. Shut the fuck up, Castro.
Kind of validated by it being a big brand gas station.
It was probably a Petro.
It was a farmer's market.
So I go in there and I'm like, excuse me, I use the restroom. And they're like, yeah, y'all, I was on that toilet for at least 20 minutes. Like 20 minutes. Like I was like, I'm in there and I'm in there sweating like, what the fuck? It was Thanksgiving dinner. I had to. It was Thanksgiving dinner. Thanksgiving dinner was coming out right before Black Friday. Damn it. So yeah, so that's my I did what I had to do, went back in line, ran, got my computer and some other shit, and yeah, that was it. That was my first Black Friday event. And since then I kept doing Black Friday, but now I don't really do Black Friday like standing in line. I do everything online, shop online, but yeah.
See, just when I was about to try to get me some jollof rice for Thanksgiving, you tell me that your Thanksgiving food gave you that.
It was the mac and cheese, bro. You've had the jollof rice. Don't do my mama jollof rice like that. Y'all both had it. It's good. It's spicy. But yeah.
Who made the mac and cheese?
I did. Shut the fuck up. Well, y'all asking for
you did it to yourself.
I don't know what it was. It could have been. It could have been the turkey. It could have been the ham.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I'm gonna stay on that same theme, and I don't really have too many crazy Thanksgiving stories, but the one time that I was gonna participate in Black Friday, if you ever shop at Best Buy doesn't announce like they'll actually have their exact Black Friday deals online. So I was gonna go into the store to buy a TV, ended up being able to get it online. So I was kind of disappointed because I was like, shit, man, I wanted to be in the melee. So me and my girl, Delilah, we went to Walmart in Kentucky just to watch. Like we just went in that bitch just to watch and pay attention to these motherfuckers going crazy. And that's my craziest story. And I'm probably gonna do some of that this year too.
Just to watch people, because you're like, damn, I didn't get to participate.
Yeah. I know it's about to go down.
You're so
I know
ridiculous.
these people, they want these TVs.
Oh,
hey, man,
God.
TVs cheap as hell.
They are.
They got 55-inch TVs for like $250, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, man, y'all don't buy that TV, man.
No,
you
don't.
know it was like a 13-year-old made that TV.
Not like, even that. So what I've learned about the TV situation with Black Friday and just buying them, a lot of places, especially Walmart, will actually have TVs made just for Walmart
for Black Friday.
For Black Friday.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can take it to another store and return it. Not that you would, but like nobody else makes that actual model TV. Yeah. And then it'll be little stuff that they like. It only has one HDMI port.
Yeah.
It doesn't have all of the bells and whistles that
only 5
standard TVs. Right. It's like, wait, what? So you got to be careful. Like you just got to know what you're doing.
That's not
personally. If you're gonna buy a TV, you should probably buy it like around Super Bowl time. That's when that's when they actually are switching out the regular model TVs, so you can actually get a TV that's worth it. Anyway, so yeah, thank y'all for your most ridiculous. That was pretty good. We're gonna go ahead and get into the show, get around the water cooler. First and foremost, just want to send my condolences to the is that Lyric?
Oh yeah,
yes.
Yeah. She trying to get on the mic.
What up, Lyric? Baby. Yo, Lyric just be talking. Just I'm here. What's up? Little superstar, Instagram superstar, baby. But yes, so I just want to give condolences to the Combs family. We found out on Thursday that Kim Porter, who was only 47 years old, passed away. She leaves 4 children. I know the family is devastated. There's never a good time for us to experience death, right? But
not at all.
It's never a good time. But my heart really hurts for the family because they are such a public family, right? So it's not like you can just mourn with your family and friends and, just kind of push through. But then it's right before the holidays. Like every holiday will be, you'll be reminded that this tragedy happened. So they're saying that it was cardiac arrest, that she was suffering from pneumonia for the last couple of weeks. Which is, I think, was it Dex? Was it you I was talking to?
Yeah.
Pneumonia is not something that you just get. Typically, some your immune system has been compromised to some level, some degree. But I was shocked when I saw it. Like it was like somebody I knew personally passed away, because I was like, yo, like she was so young. Like, why did this happen? So I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on it. I feel like Lyric has some thoughts on it.
Yeah. She talking up a storm right now. Yeah, I mean, I just think anything like that is unfortunate. I've known people to lose. It seems like the holidays, for whatever reason, bring that on in some way, shape, or form. I remember being at FAM, and almost every year, going home for the holidays, somebody would have an accident on the highway, and I'm hoping that doesn't still happen. But it just is a reminder that you got to take every single hour of every single day and live it to its maximum. And one of the things that in my past, anytime I've experienced death, and more recently, it just made me just continue to try to get closer to the people whose relationships I value. And I'm hoping that with their family that it brings them closer as a unit, as at least some type of positive byproduct of such a horrible tragedy.
Yeah.
I feel like you can't take people for granted, especially those that are that you value in your life. And I mean, even people just around you that our associates, things of that sort. It's just time is of the essence, and we're limited. So if you can't put your all out there and give it your all, and, take advantage of it, you never know when that day is gonna come. You may miss out. So that, honestly, seeing that she's 47, gorgeous. I mean, you're looking at. I think we're going through a wave right now, seeing a lot of successful women in all aspects, whether it be media, music, television, just everything, right? That are turning 50 or getting older, but they don't look anywhere near their actual age.
Right.
So to be in that state and to see someone like that, and you just kind of like it's almost out of nowhere, it's like, wow, you can't take this stuff for granted.
You can't.
To Castro's point, it's like, how do you continue to get closer to those that your loved ones and the people that matter most? And then also, I think the biggest piece too is like maximizing your day. I think we go through a lot of ins and outs, whether it be work, life, stress. Like, we gotta pull back from that, honestly, and enjoy every second of it. So
no, absolutely, I totally agree. And I think I was telling a couple of friends this the other day, like, I don't know Diddy personally, of course, or whatever, but he just seems like he believes in family first. Like, Diddy got, baby mamas, girlfriends, what have you. But I always thought it was interesting and dope that he could blend his family. Like, you would see Kim, you would see Cassie, you would see other people, like, and everybody chill, everybody cool. Like, I can't question it. So I believe that, he always had family first. So I know this one really, really hurts. And going back to Dex's point, we definitely, and your point as well, Castro, we definitely have to maximize every minute, every second. And shout out to Dex. He was here a couple of weeks ago and put me on to this meditation app, Insight Timer, and just like taking some time for yourself, like, just because the day is going to be, we can talk all this great stuff now, but we still have to deal with people. We still have to deal with our jobs. We still have to deal with projects. So that's how stress infiltrates our minds. But we really have to take care of ourselves, like, for real, because tomorrow isn't promised. Shit, the next 10 minutes isn't promised.
That's real.
So
that's real. And I feel like if you holding a grudge and you listening to this show and it's a bullshit grudge, man, let that shit go.
Seriously,
let that shit go.
It's not.
You ain't seen your kids. Go see your kids. No, seriously, man. I feel like anytime I'm around my daughter, and it's funny, I didn't mention that as what I've been doing lately, but that's probably been the biggest component.
You had a baby.
Is raising her. That's been since the last show. Was it? I can't remember.
The last show was in April.
Oh yeah.
It was before. She was born in June.
It's
so
a blessing in my world.
Yeah.
And, every time I look at her, I feel like, I don't know, super lucky and like I'm in some type of VIP club to be able to be around her all the time.
But you are. She's Instagram famous.
Yeah, somebody gotta make her real famous, because we lazy when it comes to that.
Well, we'll talk when I get home in December.
I'll be an agent.
Come on, godmama duties. Let's do this. Let's go. I just need 10% of Lyric and your bag. Daddy got a bag too. So yeah, we can talk about that offline. But no,
okay.
Back to your point, like, just feeling special and having Lyric in your life, like, how you were saying that has reminded you, like, not to hold grudges or
not to hold grudges, because I got, before I had Lyric, I'm not gonna get too deep on this, but I experienced some things, but when I experienced that, my perspective changed on, like, what people would talk to me about with regards to their children, right? So if it was a dude that I knew and he may have had some conflict with the mother, and for whatever reason it caused a lapse in the relationship with the child, I couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand it, because ultimately for me, it's like, what happens if that person is gone, and you were caught up in this ridiculous, like probably petty situation with another person that has been on the planet way longer than this child. And I don't know, people just need to fix that shit, to be honest, and stop being so selfish that they can't set their pride aside. But anyway, I didn't want to take that to a negative place. It's just, as I hear about these things, like my mind always goes to, man, I hope people are realizing like it's so much crazy shit going on. Like you really need to hold tight.
Yeah.
No,
that's real. That's real. So, you know, again, thoughts and prayers are with Kim Porter's family, friends, and loved ones. Just want to give a quick recognition to Stan Lee, Marvel Comics writer.
My dog.
He revolutionized Marvel Comics. Iconic. Like it was all about DC Comics and, you know, Superman and Batman, and Stan Lee came in and just made the Marvel universe and made it more human and made it more, you know, comedic. It's just relatable. And of course, we all know, you know, the movies are just astronomical out of here. And he died, I believe Stan was 92. He lived a good life. Like he would still go to Comic-Con, like just
cameos.
Just being in the mix. So, you know,
also created Black Panther.
Yes. So I know that you guys are creative, especially Castro. Like, do you have any words or, you know, any memories just of Marvel or Stan? Because I was kind of shocked at how many people not only love Marvel, right, but who actually like loved Stan, like revered him. So, you know.
So Stan, like what I love about Stan is Stan wasn't about the money. Stan, in fact, like if you know anything about what's happened in like recently with his money, he got taken advantage of significantly.
Yeah.
And but if you see him and his energy amongst the people, it never changed, because it was never about that. It was really just about spreading the creativity and his excitement of just seeing live action films based on the comic books that he wrote throughout his entire life that was fulfillment enough. And for me, what I take from that is it's not about this whole end game of money, man. It's about your passion and how people experience your passion and how you bring them into your world through your passion, especially in the creative space, because it's like a really vulnerable space. I would imagine that when he was younger, and he first started writing these comic books, he probably was an anomaly amongst the crowd of people that he kicked it with, you know, and they probably were like, what are you doing, man? You keep drawing those pictures. You still doing that? You still doing that? And, you know, he passed away with a legacy that's going to be here, and it's going to continue to grow. And it's, I mean, that's something that any creative wishes to have. So, I mean, the whole creative community lost somebody that was definitely a beacon of hope to what can be, from an idea that is just an idea, you know. And then now you got kids everywhere wanting to be Spider-Man for the holidays, wanting to be
Black
Panther for every day, you know. I mean, I saw, and I think about like how inclusive he was in like his thoughts and what it does to people. Like I saw this picture of a little white boy dressed up as Black Panther, and I was like, man, that's crazy. You know,
you don't never see that. You never see that. So yeah, shout out to Stan. Were you gonna say something, Dex?
Yeah, you know, that was his space. You know, I think that was his space of like bringing people together, you know, through his art and through Marvel. Because I mean, I sat and heard I think it was an old interview of his where he was just saying, like, you know, all nationalities, colors, creeds, you know, sexuality, whatever you are, you know, you're welcome. And this space is something that he developed that. But it's funny because it was through character. So that's something that is instilled early on in childhood development and growth, and having someone to look up to and heroes like that. I mean, the Black Panther piece, right? That was something that was seemed super iconic for us. And that was just this year, you
right.
know, in the sense of that coming out and how major that was. And to see it continue to unfold and unravel. He was a person that wasn't afraid of, you know, having Black characters in his arsenal. So being able to do that, I mean, he was before his time and continues to then, you know, drive that home. So rest in peace, Stanley.
Yeah, absolutely. Castro, you might want to mute your mic.
Yeah, I got you when I'm not talking.
Yeah,
I got you. My bad.
No, you good. So, I mean, it's lyrics, so she can do no wrong. Like, listeners just gonna have to deal. Like, the fuck. Anyway, so yeah, all three of us are from Florida. You know, I just want to, you know, well, first and foremost, you know, RIP to the ones that we've lost. Speaking of losing things, all of us are from Florida.
Mm-hmm.
The elections just happened. We don't have to stay on this long because I know it's a touchy subject. I know that Castro is got a bone to pick with the elections down there and absentee ballots, but we won't even delve into that. But our good friend, my homeboy, and you know, fellow rattler Andrew Gillum ran for governor of Florida, and Florida, per usual, has shown its racist and just stupid ways. And over 8 million people voted in this in the governor's election, and he actually lost to DeSantis by a margin of like 33,000 votes. Actually went to a recount, a computer recount. And just yesterday, Andrew went ahead and conceded again, because he initially conceded the night of the election. And then I think 2 days later withdrew that concession. And then after the computer recount, went ahead and conceded again. So, you know, he ran a great race. I don't know what's going on. Excuse me. I don't know what's going on in Florida. I know that, you know, Dex, you were just there this past week, and you were telling me that you were seeing DeSantis signs everywhere. I don't know. My heart hurt for the Gillum family and for his campaign team. I do believe that there is bigger in store for Gillum. Especially because now the nation knows who he is. He's not stepping away from the field, of course, but I do think that this will be a good time for him and his family to just reset, because it's been a long 21 months of running for governor of the state of Florida while also running the city of Tallahassee. So I can only imagine, on top of dealing with racism and bigotry and everything going on. So, you know, it wasn't the outcome that we wanted, but again, it has shown that our election system is trash.
Big time.
And I just don't, and people don't mind voting for hatred and bigotry. And I don't know if it's disguised in lower tax breaks or something like that. Like, I don't know, because I'm still trying to figure out if I'm missing something. I think you asked me, Dex, and I was like, I don't live down there. But from what I know, I'm looking at the campaigns, and literally one person is running on no platform, and another person is simply running on a platform and decency. And yet, and still, the election was so close, and the seemingly better person did not prevail. So, you know, it's disheartening. It is very disheartening. It's scary. But yeah, I don't know. Like, thoughts?
Man, first and foremost, shouts out to Andrew Gillum, the entire camp, Rattler Nation, everyone that, you know, RJ, everyone on the front line, you know, making sure that, you know, this came to fruition. It is so sad. I mean, to look at Florida, and Florida does this shit all the time.
Yep.
Like, this is nothing new at all. But I think and just sitting back and thinking through it, I mean, when you look at the blue counties versus the red counties, we have to remember that Florida is truly a retirement state. Like people come to Florida to die, and they bring their bullshit with them. So you have a lot of these people that aren't true Floridians, and the true essence of Florida, which is, I mean, and some people probably argue this because they're from other parts of Florida. But I mean, you have a really strong base in South Florida, and obviously Tallahassee, in Leon County being so heavily student based. Right. You can see obviously why that's blue versus the red.
Yeah, the more bigger and more diverse cities in the state typically vote blue.
Right. Yeah. Which I think just goes to show the individuals that are coming into the state. I mean, keep in mind, they don't have to pay state tax. Their money goes longer. And it's just all that stuff that you have to see. And they obviously side with the Republican side. And I think to some degree now, what's gotten blurred a little bit is the fact that the red is synonymous with racism. Right. You know, and ultimately you're starting to see this kind of unravel, especially in the Trump era, and the essence of people, you know, kind of coming out of their mask a little bit and just being like, well, if he can say it and he can do it, then that's what it is. I mean, I sat there and I watched the debates, and there was this kind of like outburst from DeSantis, you know, that was just unprofessional. Right. It's something that, you know, as someone looking for guidance and direction and leadership, and someone to lead an entire state, especially as big as Florida is, and as important as Florida is, you know, you would think that
pop off like that.
Right. But clearly it doesn't matter. I mean, look at who's in the presidency seat now, you know, like that. I honestly, this was our hope, right? I think we all were in a state where we were just like, you know what, and the funny part about it too is, and maybe it's because I'm getting older and I'm starting to realize things a little bit more, but I don't know if in any other midterm election that a gubernatorial race was as publicized and nationally known as this one was, to the extent where, you know, you had people that were in different states, different cities that were talking about it. Yeah. You know, and having the conversation about what's going on in Florida. So to see that it was impactful and it was big, and I think you had so many people rooting for good and what's right and what's just. And then you have this other side that's just spewing nothing but inconsistent bullshit. Yeah. That has no grounds. It's just sad. I mean, it's sad to see that. I think we just have to continue to fight. Like, what else do you do in this moment in time? You don't lay down. You can't let up. I think you just go even harder and continue to get people out, making sure that they make better decisions next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, a couple things. Irene alluded to one thing, right? So I'm in Portland, so I voted absentee, and I've had the same signature since I was in high school, because I used to tag scars in graffiti, and the D in my signature is the same as the S in scars, and so it's been the same. And I got a phone call yesterday saying that I needed to fill out an affidavit because my vote had not counted. And so I think one of the fundamental differences between blue and red is that red will do absolutely anything to win an election. Absolutely anything. It does not matter. They will gerrymander a district. They will take away somebody's right to vote. They will eliminate opportunities for people to vote by reducing the amount of time that they can vote early. And that's their tactic, because they know that they're a minority amongst educated people. And if you look at the map and you look at where the votes are concentrated, if you pay attention to where big educational institutions are within red states, in the surrounding areas of those educational institutions, that's where you'll see those pockets of blue. Mm-hmm. And so to me, what that means is those folks that are enlightened typically go one direction, whereas those folks who are easily frightened by pander, by just misinformation. They go an uber conservative direction, what they consider conservative, because of their fear and their stupidity. And to me, like, there's one thing to vote on concepts and theories and approaches, and there's another thing to vote on decency. But then when I look at this, the fucking foolery, oh, excuse me, the foolery that was, can we curse on here? I don't even know. Oh, my bad. No, you got me in anyways, when I look at the foolery that happened in the advertisements that were ran, or I don't even know if you can call that really campaigning. It's ridiculous, man. This dude was building a fake wall with his kid, and then in Georgia, dude's riding his truck. I got my truck just in case I gotta get some immigrants. Like,
crazy.
Wow.
This is a real commercial, and he won.
He won.
I got my guns in my truck too, because I'm gonna keep all my guns. Bro, that's what you care about. Like, that's important for your governor.
It's wild. It's wild. It's wild. It's just, it's wild.
It's crazy to me, man. It's crazy to me. But I think it's a mix between fear and stupidity and bona fide cheating. Bona fide cheating. They took my vote away from me. And I know good and damn well I filled that shit out correctly.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's wild.
And they took forever to send the absentee ballot in the first place.
Yeah.
That's a damn shame.
Yeah, so I mean, this is America. This is the America that we live in. It's unfortunate, but hey, but we like Dex said, we have to keep fighting. Like, we can't let up. We have to keep fighting. And yeah, hopefully we can get through to people, because there are people in certain, so, you know, and I say that, so I say we have to keep fighting, and I don't mean to sound, a lot of times when you have experienced certain things in life, like we're all here, we have great jobs, we have these outside projects, we went to this great university, we have these friends that kind of iron sharpens iron, right? So it's easy for the three of us here and a lot of the people who listen to the show to be like, you know what, dust yourself off and try again, like keep pushing, keep pushing. There are people who don't have that opportunity, where they grew up in a different environment, whether it be it's riddled by drugs, violence, poverty, what have you, and they you know, people like us go into their communities, you know, every election cycle, y'all got to vote, and they tell us, well, our vote doesn't count, this, that, and the other, and we're like, no, just keep going, it counts, and then something like this happens. So I completely understand why there are people, because people want to blame people who didn't vote. Well, I can understand why they didn't vote. Like, when you are so disenfranchised, I'm not going to come in with my job and my education and whatever and be like, no, fight the good fight. No, like, that ain't the case for everybody. So I wanted to make sure that I say that and people hear that. Like, I totally understand all of the barriers that are up against us. We got people who are stealing our vote from us, and then we got people who are on our side or who could be on our side, but just aren't prepared to fight because they're over it. So
I have a slightly different perspective on the folks that choose not to vote, right? Because
not everybody. There's just some people who just want to be ignorant.
Yeah.
But there's some people who are just like, yo, I keep getting knocked down. Like, I just keep getting knocked down.
So my perspective isn't even really relative to the actual person, right? I feel like the idea of disenfranchisement is another very smart tactic by those in red. Like, because if you can instill in some person the fear that no matter what they do, they're not going to get what they want anyway, then you can make them sit their ass at home.
Yep.
Right.
And people are sitting their ass at home.
Yeah, because
because they feel like that's the case. But they don't realize that if there is an overwhelming wave of people who do show up to the polls and vote early, then there's an undeniable consequence to that.
Right.
Because now it's not 30,000 votes. Now it's hundreds of thousands. Now, if you dismiss those, now you're going to federal prison. But if So you think about like what happened in Broward, right? In Broward, it's very difficult to even see if your absentee ballot counted. But Broward is actually a county that has a Black supervisor of elections,
right.
Brenda Snipes, right? But we're talking about issues in a community where it's a more people in South Florida are likely to vote than in some of the other areas of Florida. Now, and fortunately to us, they typically vote in one direction, and in the backwoods of Florida, they vote in a different direction. But if you think about gerrymandering that happens where we are, and disenfranchisement that happens where we are, imagine what level it happens in places where the city is ran by them.
Right.
Right. So we might be concerned with the 50,000, 100,000 votes that got dismissed and not counted in the bigger cities, in the more concentrated areas. But I guarantee you that people are being disenfranchised in the smaller cities.
Absolutely.
By in more arrogant and like obvious ways. Like you come with your student ID because you're 18 and you don't have a government ID, and they say, oh, you can't vote with this, so let me give you this provisional ballot, and now you think you voted because you don't really understand provisional ballots, that you have to cure that ballot, and you go on about your life, right? And so anytime somebody can do that, they know that they disenfranchise somebody.
That's all they.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's wild.
Bullshit.
It's
bullshit.
It's definitely bullshit.
I think another piece to this too, though, I mean, it kind of brings it all together, is the lack of education. Like there's a severe lack of education and understanding, your rights, voting rights. And I think when we say go out and fight and continue to fight, it's how do we elevate the level of education and understanding of your rights, what's right, what's wrong, also understanding and educating. And the other piece to the lack of education is lack of education of the folks that are on the red side. So they don't understand that shit either, really. And to Castro's point about it's become a circus act. It's honestly like made for TV bullshit that's happening. And the folks that don't really understand, the true essence of politics and what it really means and what's going on, they side with the rhetoric and the bullshit and the pandering. And even those folks need to be educated, in understanding like what that looks like. And it's tough because their mindset is already so far gone in the sense of understanding. Because me and you being Black, walking up to white, uneducated individuals is already going to be a fight to begin with, because they don't know. But how do you really get through to them?
Yeah,
it's both of y'all hit the nail right on the head, and it just makes me think like, is it that difficult to overcome this? Like, what is it that the powers that be, us, people who vote on the side of decency, what is it that we're not doing? Like, what is it? Are we not being grimy enough? Like, are we not?
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Right. Like
we're too decent.
We're too decent. Like we need
we're not willing to compromise our morality for the sake of an election. And I'm not saying that that's what somebody should do. But what I am saying is that
that's what I'm saying.
I think you're racist. I'm just playing.
Right. Like,
but I think like it's gotten to a point where we almost need somebody to just infiltrate that side, like, and just come with the banner that they say like, I'm gonna make sure these prisoners don't vote, and I'm gonna make sure you can kill your deer whenever you want to kill your deer, and buy 4 trucks and drink lots of beer and vote for me. And I feel like if there was a way to like have somebody essentially follow their formula, because they got a formula right now where they speak to blue collar America. If we could get somebody to follow their formula as like a mole, and where we might win on both sides,
We got to figure that out because it's
I wonder if anybody's ever changed their party after winning.
I feel like somebody did. Was that? Yeah. I feel like did Lieberman do that?
I don't know.
I feel like Lieberman went from like Democrat to like liberal, maybe. I can't remember. Somebody did that. Maybe.
I don't know.
Enough of them. Quick shout out. My girl Michelle Obama released a book, Becoming Michelle Obama. Every Black woman and girl is reading this book. I too ordered the book, got it on Thursday. Michelle's just amazing. She's dope. I just wanted to shout her out real quick. I know this is kind of weird going into this, but I mean, I guess so. You guys are, two guys. You guys are on social media. So this past week, Jill Scott, I don't think Jill released a video. Somebody else released a video from a performance of Jill Scott. Apparently the performance is not new, but the video of the performance just showed up on social media. And during the performance, Jill Scott simulates giving head to a microphone.
She was just cleaning her microphone, man. Y'all tripping.
No, she was she was giving that microphone the business. And of course, like it was a social media frenzy. Like people who don't listen to Jill Scott or don't listen to the B-sides of Jill Scott were surprised, like, oh my God. And I'm like, y'all just listen to Crown Royal. Like that's gonna get the party started right there. Like, what's up? So, guys, everybody's just doing their thing, like talking about it, being a little crass, like, what social media does. So much so that maybe 3 days later, Jill actually got on her social media and was like, y'all need to relax, like this, and get out my DMs, like seriously. Get your shit together. And it was kind of telling on some folks because it's like, are you not getting that type of attention from whoever you're dealing with? Like y'all are really doing the most right now off of this video. So I just want to get your thoughts. Y'all are two guys. I'm sure you like getting your dicks up. So
Jilly from Philly.
So I'll start with Dex because he's the single guy out here in these streets. Man. What were your thoughts on when you saw the video?
I mean, I've been on Jill, right? So like I already knew what Jill was about. I mean, when she was talking about take a walk in the park, what y'all thought she was about to do? I mean, but now Jill is honestly like a musical genius if you give her the time and the chance and you're listening to her lyrics and her words. Like they resonate so much. I think what's happening right now is honestly just present day social media at its finest. You know, something gets out, it goes viral, and then it becomes this thing for 30 seconds and then it's gone tomorrow. But to your point about the reactions, and some dudes they must not be, getting that work like that. I mean, I can't speak that. You didn't see no post like that come from me.
I know your life, Dex. Savage.
So I mean, Jill, that's Jill at her finest, honestly. And I think that was dope. That was Jill. And then people can't sit there and just be like, oh, not. Then the funny part about it too is like, now it becomes this like ad for BBWs.
Yes.
And I was just like, come on, y'all. Like, man.
Yeah, you gotta let them know what a BBW is.
Yeah, they don't know what a BBW is.
Oh man, they'll be all right. Let's tell them to Google it. Go ahead.
A BBW is, a full-figured woman. Like, we like love too, motherfuckers. What's up? So yeah. What are your thoughts, Castro?
She was missing the grapefruit, right? I mean, that's about it. That's about it.
That grapefruit.
I think you know, if people think that she was successful in her demonstration, then they maybe should take some notes, put it in their back pocket.
Right.
You know what I mean? Take it home and then put it to work.
Yeah. Make it work. Listen, Jill's a grown ass woman, and she was just showing what grown ass women do. Like I didn't see anything wrong with it, but I think you're right, Dex. Like with today's social media, it's just like y'all just make everything a big deal. It's really not that big of a deal.
I will say one thing that was like probably really good with the videos when someone dubbed it with voiceovers and sounds, and that shit was kind of amazing.
Everybody dubs with voiceover and sound. Yeah, like it's a lot of talented people on Instagram. It sounds
like you might have added that to your self-care regimen.
Hey, sloppy top. Add that to your self-care regimen.
Oh my God. I cannot. Moving on. Speaking of sloppy top, I don't want to stay too much on this topic. I really just wanted to ask what was going on. So Nelly, country grandma, hip hop star, has been accused of sexual assault once again. I don't know the details. Castro already hit me. I was like, listen, I can't keep up with Nelly. Like, I don't know anything about it. And I wanted to bring it up here, not to necessarily discuss the actual current assault charge, but how many assault charges does one need to get before people like us, the three of us on this show right now, start to either be like, start to question, like, is this real or is it not? Because it's just something ain't right. No. Like you can't continue unless somebody just has a beef, a vendetta against you or what have you. But like, how do you, and especially in this day and age where anybody can blame anybody for something, and anybody can deny anything.
Right.
So it really is, a situation of he said, she said, or what have you, which is very unfortunate for real victims and very unfortunate for people who are really falsely accused. But I'm just trying to understand, like, this has been like Nelly's MO for like the last 15 years. It's like almost every other year there's a new sexual assault allegation. And I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Like, because I can't say that he's doing it, but why are you the only one that's continuously being accused of sexual assault?
Yeah.
So you said so I took some time to like read up on this, but what I didn't catch from what I read was that he had been accused for the last few years. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, this is not.
Okay.
That's the only reason why I wanted to bring it up. Like, this is not new. You know what I mean? It's kind of like
a little bit of research that I did do then led me down the wrong direction.
Same.
Because what I thought it was when you said again, like when I looked it up, it looked like he was in the UK,
mm-hmm.
and there was somebody in the UK that came out and accused him, and then there were two other people
mm-hmm.
That came out and accused him, and it seemed like all of them had fairly similar stories where they had went to his dressing room,
right,
and they were asked to be alone with him in the dressing room. They were alone with him in the dressing room, and then something happened while they were by themselves. And then one of them came out and said it, and then two others ultimately ended up connecting with the same attorney. And they're not looking to charge him criminally, but they are looking for damages,
money,
financial damages, and they want him to be stopped from doing that to somebody else. So that's what I read, but I did not know that it had happened prior to that.
Yeah, he's had sexual assault charges against him before. And I think that, like this one, they will eventually be dropped, or they have been dropped. So which is why I'm like, I cannot sit here and be like, oh, Nelly is a sexual deviant. Like, I can't say that with good faith. What I can say is it appears that as grown and as old as Nelly is, he's still making the same mistakes that's putting him in positions for someone to even be able to bring a charge against him.
Yeah, he got to get better people in his camp to vet who he got coming back to.
Exactly. Like, Nelly, you're not the only dude that has women or otherwise come into your room after a show or what have you. Right. Like niggas do it every day, B. Like why? I'm not understanding why. Like this is in this day and age, somebody can accuse you of sexual assault and it not be real, but that will forever be your moniker. You are you're a sexual, a deviant, you're a rapist or what have you. And it's unfortunate if that shit is not true.
Right.
So that's why I'm like,
I remember there was a girl who had she accused a football player, and I think he got locked up, and then she had a change of heart later and then admitted it. And I can't remember what happened to her, if she got locked up or not. I can't remember. But yeah, it's wild because there is that's one of the places where there's a sexual difference in opinion, right, based on what sex you are. So as a man, you're looked at as like this dominant caveman type creature that will absolutely do that, right? I'm definitely going to like push myself on somebody or something like that. People can visualize that as a man, but when they think about women, they don't necessarily think of women in that way. I think as a collective,
right?
But I kind of like when you asked me the question about Bill. Sometimes when there's a theme, a common theme of something, regardless of whether or not it means that he did something specifically, it still to me means that there's something that needs to be adjusted, right? Like what Dex was saying, like either you messing with the wrong people, either you are misinterpreting the reason that people come to your dressing room. And advice to ladies: don't go to nobody's damn dressing room either. Like buy your goddamn self. That's stupid. What the hell are you doing in there for? If you well, I don't know what people want in the dressing room. Maybe it's a shame to say that, but
right. No, but that's the thing. Like people. So there's a new story out now. This girl named Randy Moss. Her story was on medium.com, but they've since taken it down. But she tells the story of her and this guy. I forgot the gentleman's name. He's actually a friend of a friend, but she accused him of rape. And she talks about how she, took this story to Essence and all these different media outlets, and they were like, nah, we don't want to run it. So she started out her story on this is a story for all the women who aren't famous and who don't have a voice, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm enticed. Let me keep reading. And then she explains what happened. She's like, yeah, we knew each other. I knew that he wanted to get at me. I sent him a text one night. It was like, hey, what are you doing? He was like, I'm just chilling at the house. I was like, okay, are you going to send me an Uber? So he sends her an Uber. She gets to his house. He's in a robe. They just chilling. She's like, but I didn't really want to like do anything. And then he tells her that he wants to eat her out. And she's like, I didn't really come here for that. And then she lets him eat her out. And then he proceeds to have sex with her. And she's like, oh, I didn't really want that, but okay. And then she left. He didn't come to her event the next day. So now she feels a type of way. Mm-hmm. And now she's like, she settled in her mind that, oh, I was raped. And me and my two monsters, Tiffany and Maya, we're reading this article because Maya's like, what do you guys think about this? And all three of us were like, you weren't raped. Like, why are you doing it? He's written letters to his employment. He worked for like, I don't know, one of these, I think it's either Def Jam or Tidal. He worked like he's an industry person. Yeah. Sis, and she talked about how she pitched this story to all these news outlets, and everybody was like, nah, we're not gonna pitch it. So of course you're as a reader, you're like, oh, why don't they want to tell this girl's story? Like, what's going on? And you find out they didn't want to tell the story because it's like, no, we're not trying to get sued for defamation. Your story don't add up. It sounds like you had sex, but you didn't have sex on your terms. Now you feel about it. It happens every day, sis. Like
it sounded like she had sex, but then regretted the fact that she had sex. So then wanted to validate it in some other way. And
but you can't accuse that man of raping you. That was no rape.
Yeah, that's some fuckery.
And those are the type of things that makes me upset, because then on the flip side, there are women who are sexually assaulted like every day. But then there are women who make these like, sis, that. So it's just fucked up all the way around.
Yeah.
But again, as an adult, just make better decisions. Like Nelly, she ain't signing no paperwork. Don't fuck with her. Like, she can't even come in your room without 5 other people there.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I think this goes back to like even the whole present day and the election and everything else. Like, people are doing a ton of stuff for notoriety, and whether it's 15 seconds or 15 minutes of fame, and it's sad because there's reality and there's truth to those things that are happening, and then you have what seems to be currently a lot of stuff that's transpiring for monetary, for them to get paid or get recognized in the act. It's really, really strange and unfortunate, because it's like, me, single guy, I gotta look out for myself too. Like, no matter, you don't need a big name to look out for things like that. Like, there are certain things, certain signs that you have to look out for in a person that you're dealing with, to ensure your safety and future security, in sense of like, if we're doing something that is consensual against both parties, like,
right,
and it doesn't ever come back to bite you in the ass and be like, oh, you were raped or you were done, a certain type of way. And honestly, it's and not to discredit, the claims, whether they be true or not, but you look at a guy like Nelly. Come on, man, that, like, seriously, did he really need to?
Well, no, Dex, there are plenty of guys out there. Like, there's there was a football player guy, I forgot his name, very handsome dude, successful NFL player, was drugging women. Like,
now hear me out. Hear me out. I'm not saying that it's not happening by those types of dudes. What I'm saying, because that's mental health. That's honestly, in the same vein, there's mental health issues in that same regard. I mean, shit, you look at, I forgot what I was watching the other day, but it was was it Ted Bundy, the guy that was doing the killings, and like, he kind of all came to a culmination in Florida State. And everyone and all the girls that were kind of interviewed, they were like, he's so handsome and he's the 7th and 3rd, and we wouldn't see that from him.
Right.
I get that, I understand that, but what I'm saying is to the extent of like Nelly and his access and his ability to, like, you have a camp, you have people around you, it's for you to not position yourself accordingly.
Okay.
Is it true? It may, like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what does that look like? Is this something that is this what gets you off, in the sense of like, it could, hey, I can't judge that. I'm not in that room, but there's ultimately a space where it's just like, you have to position yourself accordingly and be smarter about the actions that you take, and the people that are around you. I think is ultimately what I'm saying.
Yeah, because I'm very confused, but peace to Nelly. I hope he figures it out. Yeah. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is Pastor John Gray. I have my own gripes with this pastor for a myriad of reasons, but recently he was on Sister Circle talking and preaching and saying his thing. And I got a thing for, I think I have a thing against pastors that speak so loud and wrong, or just, I don't know. I'm going to play a clip, and I just kind of want to get you guys' perspective on what Pastor Gray was talking about regarding his relationship with his wife. If this will play.
The wife that I chose is better than the man that I am. I married a woman 2 sizes too big. I have to grow into Aventer. She's a coat. I still can't fit her. She's bigger than me. And she's had to cover me while I grow up. I got to grow into her.
So she's a covering.
She's a covering, not a lid.
Ooh,
because if a man marries a lid, she'll stop your dream. But if you marry a covering, she'll push you to your destiny. Now, I'm about to shout and tear this whole thing up. I'm just telling you.
All the way out of this thing.
Let me tell you something. My wife has endured more pain birthing me than both of our children. She has sacrificed these last 8 years, uncovering the painful areas of my manhood and covering the areas that could have exposed. She deserves anything I can give her. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. I'm going to live the rest of my life to honor her because she gave me what I couldn't give myself, which is a chance to heal while still seeing the God in me.
So I heard that, and I'm listening to this man, and I think what really annoyed me, not just what he was saying, but was the pomp and circumstance that old girl on the show was giving. Like, she was, oh my God, yes, and that's a word. And I'm like, I'm listening to this man, I'm like, well, basically, you found your wife because what he said. The Bible says, a man that finds a wife finds a good thing. Okay, found your wife. But she has suffered and endured so much while raising you, and I'm looking at this big man like, sir, the fuck? Like, what are we talking about? And the reason why it bothers me is because I have so many friends who are either married or single and depressed because they're not married, or married and completely unfulfilled because they busy raising their kids and supporting their husband's dreams, right? And I get it. Like, there's a level of sacrifice that everybody has when you're in a relationship. Like, there are times where it's like, okay, I'm going to have to sacrifice for my partner. And then there are times when my partner's going to have to sacrifice for me. Like, it's give and take. But it appears that what John is saying is like, women have to take a back seat and just be there to support their man while their man isn't together. Like, basically, he's saying, I ain't got my shit together. And she stood by me and went through all this bullshit while I get my shit together. And my question is, why are you sitting already together? Like, who's covering her? Because your shit ain't together. So right. Who's covering her while she's covering you? Like, what is that? I don't understand. And it struck a nerve for a lot of women, because you go in the comments, it was either or. It was like, but why do I have to sacrifice to make you good? Like, why can't we sacrifice together? Like, and why isn't your shit together? Like, why I got to come 100% and you on 42%, and I just got to wait till you get that other 58. Is that number is? Whatever it is. Yep. But yeah, like, what is?
I have so many thoughts.
So I want to start with you, Castro, because you are a married man. And yeah. I know both you and Delilah know about sacrifice and all this other shit, but some of the stuff that people say or preach, I'm like, yo, no.
Yeah. So first off, I think, dude, he approached it in a way that was purposely provocative, like, mm-hmm. I'm gonna say this so that you gotta stay with me to get to what my point is. Mm-hmm. I didn't take it like he was saying that she had to do that. I felt like he was saying it in a way that he was thanking her in some weird way. But at the same time, it seemed like one of those statements that could be followed up by like a public apology like 2 weeks from now for some other shit that happened, to be honest. And then he also was like trying his best to be really creative in that rhetoric, and it was like very basic, and but loud, like basic and loud. Like, it wasn't that deep, like what you said, man. And I don't know, maybe I'm hating, but I watched that snippet and I have no interest to hear anything else he has to say
at all.
Nah, period. I don't know the guy. I didn't know he was a pastor, but I watched the video and I was like, this dude is on foolery. Like, something's wrong with this guy. Personally, that's how I felt, without knowing any of his background or anything. But the message took a long time to get there. It seemed like he was perhaps not apologizing for who he was, but thanking his wife for dealing with it, I guess.
I don't know. I was, yeah, Selena Johnson was the one that was.
I didn't see the point of the conversation.
Yeah, I was like, what do you? She was. It was the reaction of Selena Johnson that really annoyed me, because there are women out there, there are people out there that eat this shit up, and it's like, sis, I just want you to want better for yourself. I just want you to want more out of your relationship. No one is saying don't support your man. No one is saying, don't hold him down. But this whole situation of, men have to be molded and built up by their wife. Like, no, they don't. Like, nigga, I need you to come correct. Like, you want her to come, you got to come correct. And I'm not saying that everybody has to be perfect, but to expect another human being to mold you into what you could potentially be, while stifling that person from growth too, I don't. Yeah,
I think the other thing that you mentioned, like about the people that eat it up, the one thing that kills me is like, you can't find your dude in a book, or your girl in a book. You can't find like the perfect way to approach a relationship in a quote. Like, this shit is too fucking dynamic. Like, it's too dynamic for you to take one person's point of view, apply it to your life, and expect it to work in some formulaic way. Like, love doesn't work like that. It doesn't. And people don't grow at the same pace. It's just, yeah, man. I don't know. I don't watch stuff like that, man.
Yeah,
He seemed like he was on a Medea plate.
He really did. He was it was just so Chitlin circuit, like, bruh, you doing a lot right now. Like, I'm about to start shouting. Right, shut the fuck up. Shut up.
Straight up, man.
But yeah, Dex, did you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I had a chance to watch it. I mean, to your point, she was definitely putting on. It was like mad extra in the background for what? Yeah, it was weird. And to Castro's point, it was truly like a covered backwards way of trying to apologize but not really saying it. But like, hey, I've been fucked up for so long, and thanks for sticking around type situation.
Right.
Is what it seemed like. But I will say that there's like, you can't allow those messages to kind of like determine how you move forward. But there is, I think, an opportunity to pull something away from it, in the sense of like, as a unit, we need to support each other.
Right.
There's a space there and an opportunity for us to both grow and develop and go beyond, our present day. And the way that he put it in this framework, to your point, is kind of like, it's one-sided, and you need to be the one to lift us up and be our mothers. And that's not necessarily the case. I think there was a better way of putting it. And I think the better way of putting it is making sure that, both parties are definitely being built, and you're building together, and you're building as a unit. I don't think they're, as a single guy out there, kind of looking for what's right to obviously start a family and settle. It's like I'm not looking for someone that's 50% that I need to, put all this stuff into. And that's not really the case. Like, I learned really early on that if a person shows you who they are up front, believe them.
Yeah.
So if you're showing me 50%, I'm not out here trying to find 50%. That's not it.
So I'm curious about that. Like, since I'm not dating, what does that mean? Like, if somebody comes to you at 50%, right? Because like somebody like me, I would say that I was probably at 25% when we met in college, right. And then, you grow into who you are. So as an adult, are you? When I was in Cincinnati, there's somebody that we all know. I'm not gonna mention her name because I'm not sure if she wants to be attached to this now. Back then, she would have been attached to this comment all day. But she made a comment that said, it said, I don't want to be with anybody who's on the grind. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, you want them to have already made it? Like, because to me, the grind is like forever, no matter what. Like, it's probably going to be some type of grind that's going to be there in the background for this one that's screaming in the background.
Right.
But Yeah. So what's that mean now? Like if somebody approaches you at 50%, I'm just curious.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. And I mean, with obviously in the time of like college in that space, you're still developing, you're still growing, you're still coming into yourself. So
Right.
I think that's a time where you can't really. And it's funny because like back then I would have been like, yo, I'm trying to find that sweetheart and try to lock her down now, so not knowing, but I've gotten the chance and the opportunity to grow and develop and come into myself. Because I think first thing first is like loving yourself, knowing yourself, and understanding yourself before you can truly be impactful for somebody else. So to that statement about the grind, like, oh, I trust and believe, I love the grind. Like if you come to the table with a grind and you have something, you have ambition, you have the know-how and the drive to actually try to become better and take steps to be better on a daily basis, that's positive. I mean, granted, you may not be 100% there, but I think that that's a sign of hope and development.
Mm-hmm.
That if you come into, if you're in my state now, I'm 30, and we're getting older. Then we're not going backwards. So at the end of the day, I'm not trying to find someone that, and it's weird because I can't say it in the sense of age because that's not everything. That doesn't mean everything, because you can find someone at the age of 25 that is established, doing their thing, on that grind and moving forward, that could be that perfect person. But it's the essence of finding someone that may even be in their 30s as well, but don't have the sense of like trying to achieve anything really. And they're stagnant. And even if you come into their life and you're just like, hey, here's some things that you can consider, here's some things that that can motivate you towards your goal or what you have in mind. Like, because one of the things that like I make sure that I ask a person like up front is like, what's your aspirations? Where do you see yourself? And it may seem real, business like, but I think it's a true essence of life in itself. It's like, well, where do you truly see yourself?
Right.
And it doesn't have to be tied to your career, but it's like in your mental state, in your well-being, like where are you in life? So I think that's what I mean at the sense of like, I'm not trying to get with someone that's at 50% or someone that isn't, all the way there, even if they're like, and I should probably remove the percentage factor out of the conversation and it truly be just an essence of drive. And I think it goes back to your point, Castro, and like being hungry and being on the grind, because we're constantly on the grind. I think even all three of us in our state currently, we're not done.
Right.
No one's ever really finished in that sense.
Yeah,
no, I think that's a good question that Castro asked, because there are some people who are like I'm gonna use Castro as the example because I call him Castro the mogul, young mogul in the making. Let's say Castro was single right now. There are some women who would be like, nah, I don't want him. Right. He's not a millionaire yet. And then there are some people who are like, I appreciate his drive. Like he's there. Like he's doing his thing. You know what I mean? Like just knowing that, okay, you have the potential. Now I use the word potential loosely because what I don't want to do is continue to date someone who all you have is potential. Like, are you actually tapping into your potential? Like, do you have the potential to reach your goals? Like you were saying, that's like your goals, whatever those goals may be, whatever the goals may be for our relationship. Like, are we eventually going to get onto the same page? Because you could be dating somebody, like Castro said, when he met Delilah, he was at 25%. And maybe a year later, like, because we are women, this is what we do, Delilah was probably thinking about marriage. I don't know if she was, but maybe she was, right?
Yeah.
Castro wasn't thinking about marriage. It's like, I like you, like you cool. We vibe, this, that, and the other. But I, someone like Delilah stayed like, okay, we're growing, because in your relationships, you grow. You don't start dating somebody and 3 weeks later you like, okay, I'm going to marry this person. Like, you may want to, that might be a thought, but you don't know that that's going to happen until you continue to grow with this person. So you have to grow to eventually get to that point. And y'all may never get exactly on the same page, but you're in the same book. Like, y'all are right there. And then there are moments where you are on the same page. And there's probably moments where y'all not even reading. You read an audio book and she is in the encyclopedia, like, but that's life. Like you said, Castro, like it's not a quote. It's not a book. It's not like you actually have to live this.
the dynamics of every relationship are different. Like, and I think first thing that I noticed was when I got married was like a lot of people would tell me about, how it was supposed to be and what I was supposed to do, how I was supposed to act in this marriage. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro?
Right. That's not us.
Are we together?
Right.
And I think those are things that it's a result of like having this constant group think about what it is to be in a relationship and I think some people don't anticipate there to be ebbs and flows in relationships. But I mean, I don't know. I just, the reason I asked that question is just because I think as I've gotten older, my interest has shifted, and because you're younger, you don't think about like foundational things, right? You think about like, okay, I like this person that's standing in front of me. Right. You get a little bit older, you think about, I want somebody that has this base foundation, right? When you get a little bit older, that foundation is kind of like the entry. Like you should be able to take care of yourself, at minimum. and once you're at that point where like, okay, I can take care of myself, then it starts to get more interesting, right? Because now it's what the hell are you passionate about? Like what is beyond this foundation that satisfies our basic needs, right? Not even talking about being rich, right? Because that's subjective. Like you could. I know some people that got millions. I know some people that got a couple 100,000. I know some people that make maybe 100 between the two of them. Yeah, that have equal levels of happiness.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But that happiness isn't derived from the bread that they're making. It's derived from like them attacking whatever it is in life with some vehement passion. Yeah. And I think that's what would be like super important, because that's what will keep shit interesting.
Right.
Yeah. It's like somebody that has a lust for life in general.
You hit it right on the head. It's the group think. And I'm glad that these are good things about social media, where it's just, I think it opens people's eyes to be like, wait, nah, that's not what I subscribe to. Like, nah, I'm good. So anyway.
Before we get off the topic, you mentioned it, but it's funny because I've seen it on this side too, in the sense where someone's told me that you're too far beyond me. You're too far gone for me to even be. And it's kind of like, that's silly. Because for me, and my mindset is like, I'm out to help build in general. And that's kind of just, that's in my nature, in the sense of how can we build and develop and grow together. So even in homies, like, what is it that we need to do in order to elevate and step up our game? So for you to come to the table, not necessarily be like where you expect to be, in air quotes, like you can still, and that's what the relationship is about. And Castro, correct me if I'm wrong. It's the sense of like really building and developing and becoming stronger in your mental space and your space in general, but having that support. I don't believe we were ever set to be on this earth alone. We came into this world with parents.
Right.
Some of us have siblings. And we have friends, and we continue to build. And I think there's a quote obviously, of we stand on the shoulders of giants. In that resonates. We have to, we build from somewhere. It's not something, it wasn't completely, from ground up. There was already some sort of baseline foundation that was there. So for relationship's sake and kind of developing and growing, I don't really feel like there's a space of you're better than me and I can't ever get there. It should be it should be a space that motivates you to want to get better. And I think when I hear things like that, it just tells me that person really knows that they ain't shit and they ain't trying to be shit. So
either that or they just have not been exposed to that type of enlightenment. Like, I think it takes a certain type of experience for you to, like, the three of us here, like, there's a certain level of confidence that you walk around. It's not cockiness. It's like, we were bred to think and molded to think and believe I can do whatever the fuck I put my mind to. Like, no one's going to tell me no. Like, you could tell me no, but I'm going to find a yes somewhere. Right. Yeah. So I think that in itself, like, a lot of people just don't have that. Fair. So, because I've heard that before, like, oh, you're you do too much, or you're gonna find somebody else. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, just chill, just vibe. Like, yeah. So
one quick last thing in response to Dex. So for one, no relationship should be idolized, right? Because if that relationship is like ran properly, then you probably don't know half the shit that goes on behind closed doors with that relationship, right? And that's inclusive of mine. And so I don't know everything or even anything about what you have to do to maintain like a successful relationship, right? It's all a learning effort for me. And I think people forget that, like shit ain't perfect all the time, man. And so you gotta be willing to go through that. But it probably don't start where you gotta go through some shit. You got a little honeymoon phase, and then you get in your first argument, and then you figure out how you respond to that argument. And if you don't respond just to hurt the other person, y'all actually listen to understand. And then from beyond that, you figure it out. But yeah, you made me think of that when you said, "Hey, correct me if I'm wrong," because there ain't no wrong, right? It's whatever it is between you and whoever you dealing with,
Right. Yeah. All right. Look at y'all spitting some jewels here. Before we get out of here, it is the Friendsgiving episode. We have so much to talk about, but with Thanksgiving right around the corner, just want to find out what are y'all thankful for this year? Like, I know it seems cliche, but we talked about life being short and living each day to its fullest. So I think that that question really means a lot more now than ever. So yeah, what are you guys thankful for this year?
Definitely thankful for my family. That I think that probably is the cliche answer, but if you know me personally, like things about me, and you probably understand why I would say that. But also thankful just for a certain level of freedom and not having to really worry about those foundational needs that we were talking about. I think when you don't have to worry about the things right in front of you, and you don't have to look at your bank account every single check that comes in, it gives you a certain level of clarity and ability to be creative. And I feel like money typically stifles creativity. So if you could get beyond that barrier, it'll get you there. I'm thankful for that. Yeah, mostly my daughter though. Like,
yeah,
absolutely, yeah.
That's dope.
That's really dope. What about you, Dex?
Man, I guess to honestly piggyback off of that, family for sure. Family and friends. I think I have, and I don't use friends lightly. So I think most of the people, or all the people that I consider to be friends, are people that are family, in the sense of just like growth and development, and just being there. Because I'm someone that has traveled the world and been in different places. So to continue to have these types of relationships definitely keep me grounded. The other thing is also just like constant change. I'm thankful for change. Just recently moved to Chicago from New York, new job, new responsibilities. So definitely thankful for the ability to continue to develop and become a better me every day within it. And just thankful for life and the ability to, and I think the Castro's point, not having kind of financial burdens to the extent to that kind of holds you back and stifles you in the sense of like, hey, I can't do this because I don't have this. I've been fortunate enough to be in spaces that have given me the ability and access to experience life freely. So definitely thankful for that.
That's what's up.
It's a good way to round out 2018.
Very good. I like that. Keeping in the same line with you and Castro, definitely thankful for my crazy ass family and my friends that keep me sane. I'm been thinking.
What's up?
Shout out to the home team. But more, what I've learned this year, I'm very thankful for my passion. I think with all the stuff that's happened this year regarding just FSG and hosting and doing all these different getting all these different opportunities, I'm thankful for my passion to kind of like step out on faith and not just go to work every day 9 to 5 and use my my multiple degrees, but actually using my gift and knowing that I have a gift and being able to continue to sharpen and strengthen that gift. So I'm grateful for that. I'm thankful for God giving me the courage to kind of like, not kind of, but to actually step out on faith and, understand my worth. So just doing a lot of like self-reflecting in 2018. So I'm grateful for the ability for me to know and recognize that and to continue to push forward and capitalize on that. And I'm thankful for all the success that I'm seeing around me. Just, I feel like every week I hear something new about a friend, either a new job or a new opportunity. And people just out here living out their dreams. So definitely grateful for that. And, I'm grateful for this house. I was able to buy a house, which is wild because every now and then I'm like, I bought a house. That's not too common. Like it's common, but like I'm the youngest one in my neighborhood. My neighbor was talking to me yesterday, and she's just like, "I'm so proud of you." Mind you, I don't know this woman, but she's like, it's just so good to see young Black women out here doing their thing, and you did this by yourself, and we're just so proud of you. And I'm like, thank you, like I really appreciate it. So you just never know who's watching you. So every now and then, when you get a chance for people to kind of like applaud you, it's humbling. I'll say that. So those are the things that I'm thankful for. I'm grateful for. Which I got planned for Thanksgiving, y'all.
But before we move forward, man, you've been on a bit of a tear in 18. I think you had what was the moniker? 18 takes 18.
18 takes 18. Yeah.
My God. I mean, I honestly, I commend you and I appreciate you and look up to you in the sense of seeing like that drive and kind of continuing to move forward with that. You've done some outstanding things in 2018. It's like, is it still 2018? It's still going?
Yeah,
it's wild.
I learned a lot from you this year, and but most specifically, like your unapologetic nature of just being you, and whatever consequences come with that, you just take freely. And I have been very tactful in the past amongst people that I don't know, and it definitely inspired me to kind of shift a little bit away from that. So yeah, thankful for that. Dex, appreciate you shifting that direction because I had been thinking about that, but there was no place for it to come in. And yeah.
I appreciate that. You're like, y'all gonna make me blush. Stop it. I'm just out here because you guys inspire me. But it's about to be a love fest. Let's get off that. Anyway, what y'all, I'm out here. I'm a thug. I don't want no problems. What do y'all guys? What do y'all have planned for? You said what?
I said you ain't got the grill in today though.
No, not today. But yeah, what do y'all have planned for Thanksgiving? I mean, Dex, you in Chicago, you out in Portland, Castro. Like, what y'all got planned?
Yeah, so my homie Jesse Horton, he owns like a marijuana cultivation company out here. He one of the few people that I actually know out here. He hit me up just yesterday to go out to dinner with him and his wife and his young son. So
nice.
That's what we're gonna do while we're out, because I don't have any family out here. So that's the plan. We probably hit up some dope restaurant, which is damn near every restaurant in Portland.
Every restaurant. Yeah. Dex took me on a restaurant tour. I was like, bruh, I'm only here 5 days. Great. We gonna eat all 5 of them days. I'm like,
exactly.
And everything was good.
Good, man.
Yeah. What about you, Dex?
That's what's up. So I was initially going to stay in Chicago because I feel like I haven't been enjoying my place that I pay for. But I did decide to buy a ticket to fly out to North Carolina to hang with my best friend, also like my brother, who has my two of the four of my guy kids. So I get a chance to see them, and I don't hang out with them as much because we're not as close in proximity. So it's gonna be cool for me to head out to. They live in Jacksonville, North Carolina. He's in the Navy.
Oh, okay.
And based out there, so I get a chance to go hang with them, shoot the shit, have some good food.
That's what's up.
And enjoy the kiddos.
That's what's up. Yeah, I'm staying local as well, so I'll be here in the DC area. Gonna hang out with my friend Ivan and his wife, who I've spent Thanksgiving with before, and it's always a great time. So it's gonna be me, Ivan, Monica, and the kids. So it should be a good time, and just hanging out, chilling, dealing with this cold weather. Yeah. Not looking forward to it, but it is it is what it is. So yeah. Well, I think that's all. Like, any other Thanksgiving shout outs y'all got? Like, anything y'all want to tell the people? No? Before I get into my beats?
I do want to know what are you bringing? Are you contributing at all?
I'm gonna bring some type of dessert.
Like, she gonna bring cups and forks and soda.
I ain't ask y'all what y'all was bringing. Like, so what y'all bringing?
Listen,
gift certificate or something.
Look at you. Look at you. Right. What about you, Dex?
The dessert for me.
Yeah.
So I'm making the dessert from scratch. I got the recipe.
Oh shit! What you making?
A coworker.
That's why he asked the question. That's why he asked the question.
Yeah, you over here trying to stunt. Hey, bro, this is my show. Okay, I'm about to cut this whole shit out. Try to play me. Oh well, actually, what I'm doing.
I'm gonna make
right, I'm making a souffle. Get the fuck off of here. Knowing good and goddamn well I wasn't making shit. I'm showing up.
Listen. Slight flex. I do cook. I know folks is listening. I'm out here.
Dex is always shooting his shot. I love it. Like Nike, just do it, right?
Hey, JDI.
Oh my God, JDI. So what are you making? What is this?
It's it's kind of like a cheesecake bar to some extent, which has, like I said, I got the recipe from a friend, so it's not something that I know from scratch or a family recipe. But one of my coworkers and good friends, she made it for one of our events when I was in New York. Mm-hmm. And it's essentially it's a cheesecake bar, to say the least. I'm not gonna give all the ingredients and recipes. Okay. You can hit me up on the side.
Oh, get out of here! Right, just for the cheesecake recipe. Get the fuck out of here, Dex. Stop trying to, don't use my show to get no, we're not doing that.
Well, people
that's not the next episode.
You got right. That's the next episode. You got some fine listeners. I know you got fine listeners.
I can't. Okay. Well, all right. So yeah, that's what we're doing for Thanksgiving. Oh my God. I just want to, let the folks know what's in my beats this week. So last week I had the opportunity to go to the Travis Scott concert, which was Astroworld, which was fucking amazing. Like the show was dope. The show is dope. And the funny thing is that, okay, so I'm from, I grew up in Houston before I moved to Miami. And there's a theme park. There was a theme park called Astroworld. It was a Six Flags Astroworld. So like the theme was like Bugs Bunny and shit, Looney Tunes or whatever. Mm-hmm. So the show, not to give anything away, but he actually includes like an old commercial for Astroworld. And I was just like, I literally was transported back to my childhood, because I was like, yo, I remember that commercial. Like, it's pretty dope. So it's a whole carnival ride type of theme for the show. So I would say if you got a chance, definitely check out the show. It's dope. What's in my beats this week is the entire Astroworld album. Of course, my favorite song on the album is Sicko Mode. Featuring Drake. You can't go wrong with Drake. Like you just can't. So y'all check out Sicko Mode by Travis Scott, Drake, Astroworld. It's a banger. So yeah, that was Astroworld. Listen, that song switches like 3 times, I think.
Yeah.
It's literally 3 different songs in one song, and it fucking rides. So listen, I love Astroworld. The song is the album is even better, you know, in certain conditions, if you will. You know, it's a completely different experience when you are, you know, in the clouds listening to Astroworld. It's I would definitely
flower or edible.
Either or, either or,
In the cloud.
whatever floats your boat. You know, listen, and you in Capital Portland. Oh God. Anyway, so yeah, that was Sicko Mode by Travis Scott and Drake. Dope album, dope song, dope concert. So if you have a chance, go check out Astroworld. I think you'll really enjoy it. And that's what's in my beats this week. Yo, that song, y'all, I love it.
That's gonna go hard.
It does.
They didn't find the formula, man. They didn't find the formula. I think they borrowed a little bit from EDM. You know, EDM always had that crescendo.
Yeah, that yeah. It goes up, and you're like, okay, it's about to boom. Yeah, they definitely did that. And just watching Travis Scott live, I get it. Like I got it before, but not really. I was kind of like, you know, he has these Nike deals, and, you know, he's with the Kardashian. Like, when did he get that big? Like, what? Yeah. And then I watched him in concert, and I'm like, oh, like, not him and Drake are completely different, but he's on par with Drake. Like, as far as his crowd, like, because Drake has been in the game longer, right? So let's say Drake ever drops off. I don't see that happening, but Travis Scott is right there. Like his fans, they go wild. They go crazy. And it's black, white, Latino, it's just everybody. And he's infectious. Like you said what?
I saw him at Rolling Loud, and it was just a massive mosh pit. Like,
well, yeah, that's exactly. Like the first song, he had somebody get on the stage with him and jump into the crowd. And I'm like, what is happening? Because he had the floor set up like how Kanye had it for Life of Pablo. So it was general seating on the floor. Like there were no seats, no chairs. Yeah. And he actually started on he has 2 stages. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it was amazing. Like it was completely dope, completely Houston. It was just dope. So yeah, he's infectious.
You can't put these dudes in a box no more, man.
You cannot. You can. Yeah. He was on Ellen last week.
Yeah,
he was on Ellen, interviewed and performed Sicko Mode. I was like, yo, you've made it. You're on Ellen. The fuck?
His production value is high.
Very high. Like, yo, the cost has gone up. So anyway, thank y'all so much. Like, this was a dope conversation. I knew it was gonna be long, like, because you niggas like to talk. Like, I get it. I get it. Y'all love talking to me. Whatever. Y'all love talking to me. Like, it's whatever. Whatever. So yeah. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me, for chopping it up. This was dope. Y'all got anything I want to say to the crew before we get out of here?
Hey, shouts to the Giggle Gang. Yeah. And I always got a shameless plug. So we got huge stuff going on this Christmas next season.
Come on, Dungeon Forward. Come on, Dungeon Forward.
DungeonForward.com. Follow us.
That's it. What about you, Dex? And don't tell them that you work for Nike because you don't have no coupons.
Shit. Yeah, you're right. Exactly.
Say it again.
I ain't got nothing for him.
Is it?
I'm just playing. Man, shouts out to the Giggle Gang, man. It's refreshing to be on here. But yeah, nothing much to say. It's been a ride. What I will say though, and I think that we should do, I think just to Castro's Thanksgiving plans with his homie that's in the industry, we need to go on a marijuana tour.
Oh yeah.
Let's hit Denver. Let's hit Washington State. Let's hit Oregon. Let's just go on a tour. Like, I think we should pull that.
We're doing that for my birthday. If Castro is available, he's a superstar.
We should make a segment.
All right. You're so stupid.
My 35th is next year. I'm gonna do something ridiculous for that.
Yo, your 30th? Niggas died on Castro's 30th, bruh. Castro Palooza. Let's do it again.
24 hours?
Yo,
Okay.
24 hours. We got to do it. We got to do it.
Man, just send me the invite.
There it is. Castropalooza.
No, seriously. Castropalooza. I didn't know what to expect. And I should have known what to expect.
That's part 2. That was part 2.
Castro almost killed. We had to stay up. We had to stay up for 24 hours.
That's dope. That's it.
All day. He had a fucking bus.
And you had to sign out. You had to sign out if you couldn't hold your shit together.
You could, and niggas was watching niggas like, yo, if you fall asleep, niggas was getting mad. Like by hour 16, it was like, oh, you fell asleep. No, I didn't. No, you gotta sign it. No, niggas was getting, it was very competitive, but good times. Anyway, this was dope. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. I love y'all, the homies. In true FSG fashion, y'all go on and tell the people bye.
Bye, people.
One time for the Google Gang, man. Holla at y'all. Appreciate it. We love. Happy holidays.
This was dope. Bye, y'all.